Almost 3 weeks since 70-year-old Sandra Eckert was last seen.
People with information can call the Franklin Police Department at 414-425-2522.
Franklin police say she was last seen at her house around 11:30 the night of March 26th, wearing a navy blue and teal University of North Carolina jacket, black leggings, and colorful shoes.
She was last seen at the home she shared with her husband of 40 years.
Also missing a gray 2005 Dodge Stratus, which looks like this, with Wisconsin license plate number 319LGT.
Wes Eckert revealed to WTMG-TV that he
1. Sandra Eckert's car was spotted by police in a local suburb.
But we do know Eckert's cell phone, social media profiles, and bank accounts have all remained quiet since her disappearance.
We have a new case that we're going to bring you into, Sandra Eckert. This evening we're going to do things a little bit different with a AWP roundtable. I've got Doug with me tonight, Carson, as well as Josh, and we're going to read to you an article that we found that really best describes this missing persons case.
Sandra Eckert is a missing Franklin, Wisconsin woman who has not been seen since March 26, 2021, when she vanished without a trace. Eckert is 70 years old. She was last seen at the home she shared with her husband of 40 years in Franklin, a suburb of Milwaukee, near Countrydale Elementary School, on Friday evening at 11:30 p.m.
Eckert's husband, Wes Eckert, revealed to WTMG-TV that he was arrested but released, and he denied having anything to do with his wife's disappearance.
Investigators served the search warrant. It said it was for a suspected homicide investigation. He says he was arrested because he had an antique gun on the wall, and he's a convicted felon for a financial crime in the 70s, so he isn't allowed to have firearms.
She hasn't been seen since, and loved ones and law enforcement officials have mounted a major effort to find her, complete with a website and Facebook page called Help Find Sandy. People with information can call the Franklin Police Department at 414-425-2522.
Here's what you need to know. 1. Sandra Eckert's car was spotted by police in a local suburb in the early morning hours. There's one strange clue that's emerged in Eckert's disappearance. According to the website set up to find her, Eckert may have been driving a 2005 dark gray Dodge Stratus with a Wisconsin license plate 319LGT.
The vehicle was last seen by Muskego police at 3 a.m. on Saturday, March 27th, the website says. It was traveling southbound on Racine Avenue, westbound on Tans Drive, and then southbound on Crowbar Drive. Police did not pull the car over because there was not a missing person alert out yet and no reason otherwise to pull her over.
It's only about 13 minutes from Franklin to Muskego, which is a suburban community in a county adjacent to Milwaukee County. A news release issued by the Franklin Police Department imparted the same information as the website.
Number 2. Eckert's husband, Wes Eckert, a convicted felon, says that they argued over his mother's will and concedes. It's no secret, we didn't get along, but denies killing his wife. Eckert's husband, Wes, spoke to local television shortly after crime scene investigation searched the couple's home. If anybody sees her, send her home, said Wes. Send her home for her kids, not so much for me, but for the kids. Questioning why investigators didn't search the house right away, he commented, investigators may have blown it. Of his children, he told WTMJ, they're being supportive, but every so often they come to me and ask me if I killed mom. That's not the case. Number 3, Eckert's phone is turned off and she hasn't used her credit cards or social media accounts. Rapid Search and Rescue Corp wrote on Facebook that Eckert was last seen wearing distinctive clothing. She was last seen wearing a black leggings, colorful tennis shoes, and a large navy blue and teal North Carolina Tar Heels starter jacket, the post says. Sandra is 5'7" and weighs 130 pounds. She has blonde hair and green eyes.
Essentially, there are no warning signs on Facebook that anything was amiss, and she came across as living a family-centric life.
Number 5. Family and friends are desperate for Eckert's return. Danielle Eckert, Eckert's daughter, wrote, "Mama, Mum, Mommy, Nana, we miss you. We love you. Come home, XOXO." On Facebook, her daughter explained why no silver alert was issued for her mother, writing, "Because she doesn't have dementia."
Her son Wes Eckert wrote on Facebook, "Been almost 2 weeks now. There's a link to the flyer here, and if you have any information, please contact the Franklin Police Department. Continue to spread the word and be on the lookout. Please return home safely, Mom."
I think there's a few things that stick out to me, first of all. One is, okay, so we have a felony from the 1970s. I don't think that the husband did it. We don't take on foul play or things that are suspected of foul play. It sounds like he's participated with the investigation. The husband, or, the significant other or the spouse, is always going to be interrogated, and it was just a reason, in my opinion, that they had on him to get him into that interrogation room to really, put him under the lights.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, at this point, we have to trust what they did until we have something else to go off of. This is what we have, and I think it's worth trusting.
Well, I mean, it begs the question, like, where is she? Where do we start looking? What's our starting point is what I want to know.
Well, we have her home over in Franklin. That we know. We also know that she was over on Racine. And so with that, when you take it around, it's really a big loop that she was doing within this 3.5 to 4 hour period. She left at 11 p.m. She was last seen, and basically she was trailed by an officer who followed her from Racine down south and then kind of made a southwest or southeastern turn from there. And really we have a lake that's over there, and there's 2 or 3, 4 potential boat ramps and entrances over there. And I think that that's the first location we need to start tomorrow.
So at this point, I've reached out to the Help Find Sandra Facebook page. I've reached out to the daughter, Danielle. I have not heard from her or the Facebook page that's been set up for this. First thing in the morning, if I don't hear from them, we will reach out to the police department so that we can coordinate a bigger search effort and find out also as well if they have any additional information that we don't have right now.
Oh, hi. Hey, my name is Jared Lysick. We're with a sonar search and recovery team out of Oregon, and we are moving into town today to work on Sandra Eckert. Do you know who's working that case and if they can get a hold of me?
Okay, hold on one second.
Thank you.
It's going to be Detective Sergeant Fadness who's in charge of that investigation. I will have him give you a call back.
Excellent. Thanks for your time.
Sergeant Jared at the Franklin Police Department. How are you doing today?
Hey, good morning, sir. I'm doing well. Thanks for calling me back.
Yeah, you bet. My dispatcher said that you had called and you were going to be in the area assisting with a search for our missing woman.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. All right. Have you contacted the Muskego Police Department? Because that's where you'll be, essentially, and that you're going to raise a lot of questions if you're going to be in the area.
Yeah. Usually it doesn't, because we're always on, if it is private, we always do ask for permission, so we're never trespassing and or we're on public bodies of water. So, but yeah, we can definitely reach out to them, but we did reach out to you first since your guys' information is plastered everywhere.
Sure. No, I appreciate that. Now, you're just focusing in on bodies of water versus like fields or heavily wooded area?
That is correct, because our specialty is water related. That's where we focus whenever a vehicle has not been found for a period of time.
I guess what I'd like to know then, Jared, is if you do come across anything, that you would just contact me directly, because we're the lead investigating agency on this.
And then is there any information that we may need that would put us in a better location? Any other last known locations that might help us out that would put us closer to a body of water by chance?
I can't provide that information to you, Jared. This is still an active and open investigation on our end. I'm just going to let you work off of what you have, and I am not going to disclose anything else at this time.
Not a problem. I completely get it. Not a problem at all. Just want to make sure that you were aware that we were in town, and we would hope that we can give you a call later on today with some good news.
It was good to ask if they had any other information, but because he's not willing to give up any information, definitely means they are still out and anything could happen.
Whenever we start our searches for somebody, the things that we like to go off of is where did they live, where did they work, where were they last seen? And in this one we have where did Sandra live? She lived over here in Franklin. But after she left Franklin, she left around 11 p.m. She was last seen at 3:30 a.m. by a law enforcement officer. She was not seen after that because there was no silver alert. Car wasn't reported stolen. So if we start breaking this down, we don't want to work with the bodies of water closest to her house. We want to work with the closest bodies of water that are off of Crowbar Drive here. With that one, I think what we want to do is to start our day. There's a little boat ramp access point right down here at Lake Denon Public Launch. I say that we start our day there, put the boat in, and then we'll start deciding where to go from there.
All your momentum's gonna take you this way. You're not gonna be able to turn.
Yep. All right, so Lake Denon is the first one checked off the list. Let's make our way down to Long Lake. Well, let's look at any other access points on this lake by chance, though.
But it actually looked like it got shallower because I could see the ground more than I could see where I was standing at right there.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, you're only 8 inches deep over there. I mean, does it get deep there? No.
I could see the bottom here.
Okay. Yeah, and it shallows out all right there too.
I mean, there's just no force that's gonna take a vehicle down that far.
Oh no, 100%.
It's never gonna make it.
Farthest is gonna be like 30, 40 feet right there. All right. Next location.
And gentlemen, I think we have our first legitimate location.
I think so. It does look deeper. And this is, as far as I know, the closest boat ramp to their home.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of skinny there, Doug, but it might get deep enough to. Let's walk to the end of the ramp here and check this one out. We could toss a magnet on this one if we can't see the bottom. No, I mean, you can see bottom there. And they were just rowing right here, kicking up
the mud
right there. I mean, just for our own sanity, though, let's just throw a magnet real quick and just verify. But I mean, yeah, you can see they clearly kicked up the mud. Alright, let's go hit the next location, just for kicks. Yeah, just for kicks, drag it right through here too. Okay, yeah, perfect. Yeah, so we'll go check out Wind Lake then for those two locations. I appreciate it. And then we'll also, looks like we're going to be looping back around to Bass Bay as well. We'll go hit this little hidden boat ramp back here.
Yeah.
Well, perfect. Hey, I appreciate you stopping and
Sure thing,
for your time on us.
Interesting.
That's some good, really good information. Like, he gave us a hidden boat ramp that we didn't even see because, like, it's like a dead-end road, but then it's like a path that's like mowed down that you can get to this little hidden spot, like almost like a picnic spot. And then we have the additional locations over there on Wind Lake. So I really like those that I didn't see before either, because one of them's kind of like attached to a bar. And then we have, like I said before, 5 locations up there in Little Muskegon. The reason why I've stayed away from that one so far is just because that one's a lot more populated. But I'm here at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right,
Let's go get it knocked out.
The last guy was a really good, credible source on location, so.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see a sign just hanging out underwater right here.
Yeah, and the heron out there standing.
Yeah. All right, well, there's one more launch on this lake, and then that'll take us up to Little Muskego from there. Bottom, you can see bottom, you can see bottom, you can see bottom, and then it goes back up. All right, well, that one clears this one. This is kind of like when I start freaking out. I'm like, we have not yet found. I keep looking at the sun, what time sunset is, and it's just like, I just feel like we're never moving fast enough at this point in time. It's just frustrating, you know?
Very, very frustrating.
Yeah, because you can see the bottom right there. So keep going. So you have the sticking out. So this is the part that's sticking out. And it's like right here. You should be able to see the boat launch right there.
There's a buoy there.
Yeah, and you can see the bottom.
This is the area, and this is all just weeds.
That is deep enough right there. Oh, it's a bunch of no trespassing. Warning, warning, no trespassing. We're not getting onto that at all. There's signs all over that one. It's 8 feet deep though, right there. You might be able to see the top of a vehicle. Real nice gal. Yeah, she says go ahead, and we have her permission to access the property here. We can take a look at it and do what we need to. She also did confirm that it's 8 feet deep right there. This might be something we just want to throw the boat in real quick. Yeah, because you can tell right here also where it drops off at this little waterfall here. So here's the dam that holds it back right here. So in fact, you're 10 to 12 feet right there, 11 feet. All right, a magnet's not gonna do it, not for what we need to do, because if the car goes out, I mean, it could end up like right out here. So we're gonna throw the boat in real quick. A lot faster and actually more efficient than trying to toss a magnet in there. Now we have an exact reading as to the depth. It's actually 5.5, 6 feet deep. And even if the car was to float out here, we would hit another 75 feet that way. So we've covered about 125 feet from shore. And we can say without a doubt 100% that this body of water is clear.
All right, well, I think at this point, it's gonna seem a little bit different. I think we should go try to talk to Wes. Hopefully he's there. Hopefully he'll be receptive and say, hey, yeah, we had this amazing park we used to go to all the time. And,
the one clue that we need.
Yeah.
We've been in the area all today, seeing what we can do to help you find Sandra. Whenever a lost loved one is not found after a couple months, you know, it's always suspected they might be in the water. And so I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Jared. We're just here to, you know, look for, is there any information that we might be missing for what's been online, as far as, you know, the direction that we had last was she was over in Muskego.
Right over here.
Yeah. And the last information was heading south on Crowbar, and we've searched, you know, 12.
She ain't spent no money. She ain't contacted me, or I don't know if any of her friends, or if anybody's hiding her, or if she's running the bad things. She had cash with her when she left. We had an argument. I took her keys. I went to bed and got up, and my other car was gone.
Right.
And that's the whole deal. Haven't seen her since.
Like, is there any place like a Lover's Lane, you know, anything special that her and the grandkids would go to? Any special parks? And that's going to be our first lead.
They found a couple cars around this area already.
But not.
They were Dodge Stratuses. She was near a quarry in Muskego.
Okay.
And we've been all over there today. Like we probably didn't go to this particular quarry.
I haven't seen a quarry.
But we went to, you know, all the little lakes over there, and they're so shallow. Can't get anything in there if you wanted to. If you wanted to end things, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of lakes around here are shallow.
And
she had a bunch of cash with her. She might have run into trouble.
Yeah.
No one's heard from her, and that's unusual. The kids can't believe that.
Yeah.
And I waited for a day for her to come back. Didn't come back. And the kids started asking questions, my kids. And I says, well, your mom's been gone for a whole day. And I was waiting for her to come back, and now I'm waiting for the lawyer to show up. Last thing she said, you'll hear from my lawyer.
Right.
My mother died. She left a modest amount of money. There's 4 of us siblings. And my sisters are getting a better deal from the will. My sisters took care of her for a period of time in the front room. I wasn't up in the little town of Fish Creek. My sisters took care of her, so I'm all right with the fact that they're getting a better deal than me. So my wife was insisting I go and contest the will. That's what the argument was about. Every time she wanted me to do something, she pushed that button, and this time I didn't fall for it, and she left.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen her since. I'm not in a hurry to see her again. My kids would like to see her, and grandkids.
Yeah. Well, Wes, I really appreciate it. The camera guys always have us mic'd up. Do you mind if we use any of the voiceover clips? We won't put your face on camera, but can we use some of your voiceover?
You were mic'd the whole time?
Yeah, we're always mic'd.
It doesn't bother me.
Okay, I appreciate that.
This one, unfortunately, at this point, is really a dead end. Unfortunately, a dead end. You know. I mean,
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go talk to the daughter. All right, be right back. Hi.
Probably.
Does Danielle live here? Is your mom Danielle? Is she here?
She's really, really sick right now.
Okay. Okay. Can you let her know that I'm in town looking for her mom, that we're a volunteer search team?
Yes.
Okay. Well, please let her know and see if she would like to speak with me.
Okay.
Because I'm in town like only right now today.
Okay.
So
When are you leaving?
I'm leaving in a couple of hours. I've been in town all day searching for your grandma.
My mom said she'll be able to call you later.
Okay. Sounds good. And you have my phone number on the ring? Okay, sounds good. We're only in town for a few more hours, so all right, thanks for your time. So they were out driving. They did see us over at Grandpa's house. My understanding is that Mom, Danielle, is laying down, that she's very sick, and that she could not come to the door, that she's now sleeping. The Ring video doorbell was on the entire time. I left all my information, who we are, and if it's not any more important to them, are we done? I don't have anything else to go on.
They formed that Help Sandra Facebook page for the whole community to create awareness and tips and all of this and that. I messaged that page as well as left a brief message of who we were in town, and reach out please on multiple posts publicly. So I mean, at this point we know they've seen it. And they just, for whatever reasons, I guess we got to respect that they don't want our help. And we've really tried hard today.
Well, and here's our thing, that we want to put this message out there as well. And that message is even though we come in and we are documentary filmmakers and we share these stories, if you are a family that is out there, that you have a lost loved one and you would like help, we still need to tell that story so that way other people can see it as well. But if you do not want to be on camera and you don't want to be a part of the story, we have absolutely no problem with that. The only thing we want to do is try to help you and your family, and we're doing so on our dime and the dime of our entire community that's helping us out to put us in this position. So there's no charge to any of you, or if you happen to be in this position. So Danielle, or if any of your family members are watching this, please do reach out to us, because even though we're going to wrap this up and we are going to leave town right now, if in the future we might be back through, or there's others within the AWP movement that happen to be within a couple of hours, that maybe there's that one piece of information after you've watched all the places that we've searched, if there's something else that might come to mind, like, oh well, we used to always go to this park and it had this pond or the quarry, or we used to always go to the beach here, or we just never know when we hear that one little piece that's going to point us down the in the right direction as to solving this for you. So hello, this is Jared.
Hi, I think you were just at my sister's house on the Ring doorbell.
Yes, I was. Are you on the same network? You were able to watch everything?
Yeah, I spy on her Ring doorbell, so I saw it.
That is awesome. You're an amazing sister.
So what's going on?
So our organization is Adventures with Purpose. You know, our viewers had told us about your mother and the case, and you know, we're on a cross-country trip right now. We're working 27 cold cases, you know, 36 people in 44 days, and one of our stops today, you know, was here looking for your mother. You know, we did our best to reach out to you and your family ahead of time, so that way we could, you know, work with you. You know, we are documentary filmmakers as well, so we do, you know, document this so that way other families can find us as well.
Okay.
This one has just left us stumped, you know, because everything has been so shallow, and the last information we had was, you know, with your mom going south on Crowbar and nothing after. That's why we were over in, you know, in the southern part over there, looking at all the bodies of water over there. We then came back. We then came back to what we normally know, and that is, you know, usually a 5-mile radius is where somebody is found. You know, and the reason why we're here, of course, is because several months has now passed and the vehicle is still missing. So when that happens, for us, we always suspect with, you know, something underwater.
Okay.
You know, but you know, anytime we can talk to you know, you or the family, and just, is there like that one piece of information that we are missing? You know, is there a special, you know, lake or pond or, you know, county park or something that you used to always go to, and you know that there's a, you know, that there's water there as well? You had celebrations there, birthday parties, or that's what we're looking for. You know, is there something that we're missing that would take us out of the normal search for where we're at right now?
Sure. So I've been obviously doing everything I can to, you know, try to find my mom as well. So I did kind of what you did, but with a drone, and I took it over all the lakes and ponds, and like you said, they are so shallow, you can see even a fish from the drone. So I figured if there were a body or a car, you know, I would see something, but I didn't see anything. Well, of course, there's a lot of lakes, so it's like, when do you stop? But I checked most of the ones in the area and didn't see anything via drone, but I did always have in the back of my mind, like, perhaps hiring like a dive team to, you know, investigate further. And just, I'm down to try anything, obviously, to get answers and justice. So
we're looking for a vehicle, and putting a diver in the water just to swim around in hopes of running into something, it's a, you know, needle in a haystack. But if you put a boat in the water with sonar on it, you know, our team, we've really specialized in small inflatable boats that, you know, have sonar that's, you know, down imaging, side imaging, and live scope, that we're running all three at the same time. So to give you an idea of where we went, you know, we ended up at Bass Bay. There was 2 locations there that we ended up searching for the public ramps. As we were coming down College Avenue, there's a little private lake between Hilldale and Gold Drive on the north end. It's called Linny Lac, and so there's a bunch of no trespassing signs there. But the homeowner, one of the homeowners, gave us permission to go in there, so we actually put the boat in there with sonar and identified that it's 6 to 6.5 feet deep right there, and there is no vehicle in there. And then there was a few others as I looped around, and we've been so many locations I've kind of lost track of some of them.
Sure, and like endless lakes over there, which makes you feel defeated when you look at the map.
Yep, for sure.
Full disclosure, I don't think my mom was driving that car at 3 a.m.
Okay.
I'm not sure if the police know that and just can't tell me. They obviously can't tell me a lot of things just because it's open investigation and crime suspect being my father, so they don't know if they can trust me. I have no contact with my father, but I'm pretty certain she was not driving that car, and that the car wouldn't be in a lake, but obviously it's good to check and cover all our bases. But I would assume that car is hidden and smashed up, just based on my father's history and my father's connections. He owns a junkyard, so it's like, if anyone wants to get rid of a car, he and his buddies certainly know how.
Right.
But that obviously eliminates some of the outcomes of this case. Like, obviously, if it were like a suicide or a carjacking or a runaway gone wrong or just trying to get out of town, there would be a trace of her body or her car at this point. The only body of water that I still want to check and haven't is a river near my older brother's property, and it's private property. So I actually have hired some people to work on that for me, but they haven't successfully accessed that river yet. So I don't know if we would be able to even access it because it is mostly private property.
Okay.
And which river is that?
So it's Root River. I have my older brother's location on Snapchat, and recently after my mom went missing, he was in that area by the river almost all day long, which is obviously suspicious.
Now,
let me pull it up.
Did your brother live with your mom as well?
No, he did not. He's my half-brother, so it's just my dad's son, and he owns some property in Franklin, but he does not live in Franklin. He resides in Eagle River. I have a screenshot of when he was there, but obviously that was months ago, so let me find it. Because I have like the satellite version from Snapchat as well, so you can see like it's my brother's property where he owns a bunch of junk cars and things. And the river kind of goes right adjacent to his property. And then really the only other thing I haven't searched that would want to search is my dad's property has a bunch of like swamp-ish land and a creek, but it wouldn't be enough to hide a car. It would be more so like a body.
Right. Yeah, you know, and then that's where it gets, you know, very iffy for us, because our thing, and especially for our wives, is that they prefer that we don't do anything where now it becomes suspected foul play. So we understand, you know, everything that's been in the news. We understand, you know, the questions that you have had for your father, but we always come into this so that way we can justify it, I guess is the right way with our wives, is that this you know, that this is an accident or it's on purpose. If you know, if we happen to solve and it happens to have been foul play, that is not on us. You know, our big thing is we're looking for the, you know, for the where. I might have to just leave that on the table to let you continue with your leads for that reason. You know, like I said, you've been very transparent with me, and I want to be transparent with you as well.
Right. No, I totally understand that, so no worries.
Okay. So I guess that takes us to, we have no other locations that we can search then today that would be accident or on purpose.
Correct. I don't, nothing that I can think of. No.
Okay.
Obviously, when people have more eyes on it, more people think of things and come together and figure things out. So that helps, and I appreciate your time and your efforts, and I wish you luck in the other cases you're working on as well.
Absolutely. And then the best place to send viewers, so that way they can help out with your case, would be the website and your Facebook page that we can link to it in the description. Is that the two best places?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, sounds good. Kelsey, I really appreciate your time. I'm sorry that Danielle was not able to come to the door, and that we just kind of showed up unannounced. Like I said, we tried to reach out to her before we came to town to try to give her a heads up. It doesn't always work out that way. So I do appreciate you spying on your sister and getting a hold of us.
All right, well, thank you so much for your time, and safe travels to your next location.
Sounds good. Thank you very much for your time.
Okay. Thank you. Take care.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.